if you've had your practice for a long time, there's still some basic questions that can trip you up if you're trying to answer them. And then you factor in that you might have new staff members who need to answer those questions, or you have maybe a new event or a new treatment, and all of a sudden you kind of wish that you had something that you could go on time and time again. Well, guess what? Today's the day. I'm going to teach you in this quick video a formula that you can use for whenever it is that you are talking about what you do or what you offer or an event that's coming up or a blog post that you're publishing, any of that kind of thing that you want to point people towards. I'm going to give you the formula that you can use to talk about it in a way that the person who's listening will have their curiosity piqued and decide if they want to learn more. So my name is Annie Figenshu. I learned this one-liner formula from Donald Miller from his book, Building a Story Brand and Building a Story Brand 2.0. I am certified in Story Brand. I use it all the time with my content marketing company, Downstage Media. And I have seen it work time and time again, not just with my own marketing, but with the marketing that I do with my clients. So we use this one-liner formula constantly, partly because it is so easy to remember. So here's the deal. You want to have, there's three parts to a one-liner. And so when somebody asks you, hey, what is it that you do? Here's what you want to do. First, you want to talk about the problem that you offer. So let's say that you were an at-home chef, okay? And so somebody says, hey, what is it that you do? And you can say, well, you know how so many families don't have time to prepare and then sit down for dinner? Like, that's a problem right there, right? So that is how we're going to start. So then the person who's hearing that is going to be hooked in a little bit more, right? Then the next part is the solution. This is the thing that you want to make sure that they know about, right? So in this case, if the question is, what is it that you do for a living? You started with the problem. We just talked about that. And then I'm an at-home chef. I prepare meals for families. Boom. Okay, so there we go. That is the solution right there. Now you can use it. You could say, in this video, you're going to learn. Or you can say, did you notice how I did that? Did you see? Anyway, you could also say, with our new treatment, blah, 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 right? So this is something else. This is the way that you can frame any of these different offerings that you have, right? So problem, solution, and then successful result, so that your family can actually enjoy dinner time, right? So that's the successful result. Because they solved the problem, this is the result that they get to have, right? So you know how so many families don't have time to prepare and sit down for dinner? I prepare meals for your family so that way you can actually enjoy dinner time. Boom. So you can keep this formula and use it time and time again with many of the, whenever you're asked to talk about something that you offer or an event that you have coming up, because otherwise what you're talking about sort of becomes a nice to have versus a need to have. Now, I talk about a lot more of the messaging that you can use in your practice in the training that I did last week. So head back into the archives, watch the replay for that, because today we talked about 3 messages that you want to have very clear in this formula, but there's actually 7 messages altogether that when you use them and dial up in the right way in your marketing, you are able to get such better results and actually have your audience do the things that you want them to do. So give that one-liner formula a try, and then check out the rest of the training in the archives. Thanks so much.